don't fight it, don't fight it. Overpass is our second match between these two teams. Dignitas' choice, of course. They could be 1-0 up, but they are, well, it's not really a 1-0 up because they're two matches. They're separate matches. Just a reminder, the away team is a home and away system. Each team plays each other team twice, which is why we have the second match between these two teams. The away team vetoes 2 maps. The home team picks from the remaining 5. Dignitas, one of the more interesting teams to watch on Overpass, always evolving their strategies, always having funky stuff like, I always mention the default smoke you see on the CT side going through to Monster, bouncing off the trains, going into the back of Monster, is something I feel like can be exploited with a pop flash. MSL is one of the people who exploits that with a pop flash thrown from short B, so look out for that. Hello, Dan.
Hello.
Looking at map stats, map statistics between these two teams. Last 3 months on this map. So we have a whole 2 maps there for FaZe and 14 for Dignitas, 9 of which they have succeeded. We can't take much away from the FaZe statistics other than perhaps they don't like to play this map.
Yeah, they used to be very good on this map from the CT perspective, with various lineups. It just seems to work for them, and I think a lot of it's just because they get to just sit there and shoot people, and there's lots of like funky stuff you can do with that. But when it comes to T side, Overpass T side is actually quite complex, I would say, and quite difficult to deal with, generally speaking. So that's where they really tend to fall down, or have historically. So I'm going to be really curious. I feel like the team that does better on the T side is going to be the victor here today. And Dignitas, they should be that team.
FaZe won a knife. They chose to start on the CT side. Rain and jkaem have a crossfire between middle toilets and Connector. Allu's in there for support as well, but they're being surpassed. They're being overpassed, perhaps. They're being shot in the face, Dan. Well, the T's are. jkaem did good work there, but there's rotation from the B players, but Allu and Rain are holding form for the time being. Dignitas slowing down now. RUBINO needs to catch up. He was over towards B or Connector, and now he is headed in their direction. Down goes aizy. Allu and Rain still around the toilets. Rain dueling with RUBINO now around a Connector area, which will leave Allu isolated. kioShiMa on a late rotation, but it's the CTs getting the kills.
Yeah, it's looking quite awkward here. Although Dignitas have the close ranges to maybe play with, and Config almost losing his life, just darting through the smoke. But look at the position he's in. It's going to be quite difficult to fight his way out of this, and he will indeed go down in the end. So FaZe take the round. Once again, closing a pistol and making life difficult for Dignitas. They did get the bomb down, though, so I almost would expect from Dignitas actually a set piece, probably on the B-bomb site in this round. But we'll have to see if they prefer the routes where they just wait around and then play with the AKs.
Darkness. kioShiMa's gone for an auto sniper. This is a map where I have not seen auto sniper in the past. Obviously, auto shotgun. Excuse me.
I was about to say.
Yeah. It's been a long day. It's been a long day, Dan.
Played on one map.
We've all had a little bit of sugar.
Just you.
kioShiMa on the auto shotgun is of interest to me, but Dignitas are moving towards the toilets area, the bogs, the lavatories. They're going to trade Allu, but can they get the bomb down? There's an easy rotation for the CTs. Rain on a long area. He will hold the cross for the bomb. Easy cleanup for FaZe. So yeah, I'm interested to see this auto shotgun. kioShiMa appears to be playing it around a short B area. And just a quick note, when kioShiMa, we talked about earlier Allu's role in the team and how that may move other people out of joint. When kioShiMa joined the team, jkaem and kioShiMa had some similar roles which swapped around. Cash is an example where sometimes you'd see jkaem, sometimes you'd see kioShiMa around the B checkers vents area. Allu on the high ground of the M4 for now. Spots Magic Boy, takes him down. 3 players for Dignitas moving towards the long area. Can Allu escape? Or will he continue to stay? He'll stay. That's 4 versus 4. Very early for Dig.
They're making fast ground up a long, which is good. And I think jkaem, yeah, he's going to hear this now. He turns around to try to deal with it. Quick nade in there. They weren't really prepared to deal with jkaem in that spot. So now things get a little bit weird because it's just MSL having to clutch against 4 players. Oh, that's a good start. Gets some nice damage onto jkaem. He can just get aizy down. Maybe there's a chance now with jkaem being so incredibly low. Is MSL going to pull this one out of the bag? He's got himself a smoke to try to plant, and he's got loads of time. So he could even rotate to the other bomb site if he wanted to, but he doesn't know where the flanker is, or if that is even going to be a flanker, and that's going to be kioShiMa
from the back.
In a timely manner from a long 3-0 there. There's a decent damage, but the problem is that there's no bomb plant, and that means that Dignitas have to save again.
I wanted to see the ace. I wanted to see the MSL ace. Not something you see every day, especially from an in-game leader. Not to be on this occasion. Dignitas on the pistols. Good start for FaZe on a map where you have to favor Dignitas, especially looking at those statistics, assuming they're correct. kioShiMa dropping a smoke into the B tunnel early. FaZe are going to clean up this round with one man. That man's name is aizy. He is hunting. He wants that ace, and he's not going to get it. He's failed. He has disappointed us all and his family. Shame lies on his head.
AK is back in for Dig.
He wrote a word in the chat which starts with F, Dan. He wanted the ace. But what good is a anti-eco ace? It's not glory. It's not glorious, Dan. It's I don't know what it is, but I can tell you what it isn't. It's not glorious.
Gives you extra money.
It does that, yeah.
Yeah, we got Suez coming in from Dignitas. No direct challenge there from FaZe though. They will be making their challenge towards A long, getting some damage onto MSL. He's going to back away, and that does tell Dignitas a little bit about the setup here for FaZe. Although you might normally expect there to be 3 players towards A if you're going to see long aggression like that. So it might be a bit misleading, but either way, it won't matter too much. It won't really distract Dignitas from the main objective, the main plan that they had in store, which is likely to be a set piece into B. After trying to create some presence towards A, but I think that was cut a little bit short there. I don't think MSL can do too much. MSL's just waiting for a player to push toilets to go around to the stairs, I think, to try to backstab his teammates at this point.
Nice information play from RUBINO. But also, this is so early to have such aggression and clear, obvious, announced possession of the short B area, and just generally outside B. I do wonder if part of this is Dignitas trying to condition FaZe for the rest of this half not to venture into this area. Because common defaults are just one person outside B passively at the moment on the T side of Overpass. But the split's looking to come in. The Molotov will slow things down. But the lower ground's being taken by Dignitas for sure. 3 frags coming, no answer. FaZe don't have all the money in the world. And 2 versus 5. Surely they don't want to go for this. That said, we've got Rain on the low ground. So is allu. Not a single kill for the CT side just yet. Players maimed. But allu seems committed. They can go for a buy in the next round of CTs. So maybe it's about doing as much damage as possible. Though one of the 5 players is heavily tagged. So if allu could save this, that would definitely help the CTs. And indeed, it appears he is going to finally give it up. Or is he?
I like going for just damage there. I think that's really nice. For allu, I think he's just trying to be really sneaky with it, trying to catch a player running away on that last peak there, but didn't quite work out in the end. Dignitas really explosive on that B-bomb side. That will be a big worry for FaZe in the future, as generally I think if you allow Dignitas to run a set piece onto either bomb site, I think you have to be worried. I think that's a situation as the CTs you don't want to allow happen, at least not with them having the integrity of 5 players when they lead into that. That's the execution of the set piece. That said, this round we might get a bit of forward information plays here. kioShiMa is quite forward, looking towards Monster there. That's quite interesting, because if he doesn't see anybody there at all, that's kind of a tell. He might even just decide to peek here with aizy just to be 100% sure. Look at this beautiful stuff there, catching RUBINO, and that position on RUBINO actually tells them quite a lot. It's very much a lurk style kind of position, so that means they should realize the push is coming. If they didn't, Rain is going to be able to give them the information, because now he's dead.
jkaem in a very nice position. Again, multi-frag round for him. allu running distraction after the initial kill over towards A, leaving MagicBoy alone. I like the response from FaZe as well. We talked about maybe Dignitas trying to perhaps condition the CTs to be scared of the short B area, and FaZe answers straight back saying, this is our area now. MagicBoy 2,900 in the bank. At the beginning of this round, after the loss bonus, aizy had 3250, which is why he's on a FAMAS, which is the extra gun being saved I mentioned might have made a little difference there. However, as you can see, no difference was needed. He's got a kill, jkaem with 2. jkaem, a very hard man to kill on FaZe. 20 seconds left, and MagicBoy, it appears, will try to hold on to what he has. So this is not a good situation for Dignitas. 1 round on the board from 5. They're about to get their lost bonus resets. They are a team known for their T sides. So this is not a good start for them.
Yeah, and I feel like it kind of sucks the position that he was in on the map, because I feel like there's other spots where he's going to try to create some damage there. Either way, will his team buy around him? I don't know. It looks like they will. And it's going to be interesting, because there are teams, again, like that find themselves in this spot where it's like, okay, we can't get all the guns we want, we can't get all the utility we want, but we'll get just enough utility to run that set piece. And if FaZe don't allow, or rather don't take space away from Dignitas and allow them to do that, I think that's kind of the worst case for FaZe in this round. They should really be making sure that Suez is not for free, as it seems like it might be here for Dignitas.
Every time you say Suez, I think you're saying Suez. Anyway. Again, we've got Dignitas with the 3 men outside the B bomb site. MagicsBoy can join him if necessary. Clearing out connector at the moment. MSL on the high ground. Again, just staying back a bit. Can direct his team as necessary. And also potentially support MagicsBoy on the high ground. But really, I suppose part of his job will be cutting off connectors, staying up there. Now, Dignitas, they had a good round where they just got straight entries onto the B bomb site, and with their limited utility, it appears that it might be going for that again. cajunb holding a very common angle for the CTs to peek. We've got nades coming in from the high ground. Where is that grenade going? Well, regardless of where it's going, cajunb is going to the other side of the planet, getting a shot in the face there. Smoke's flying into the B bomb site, where Dignitas are still posturing. MSL moving to join them now. But there we go, there's a nice kill onto kioShiMa, but the CTs are starting to rotate. 30 seconds left. Still a Molotov and some flashes onto Rain. jkaem on the high ground now of B. And Dignitas needs to get this bomb down. Running out of time. Config trying to avoid getting traded as the bomb gets planted.
Yeah, this is what you have to be worried about with Dignitas, is the fact that they can go for low buys and create rounds like this. It was a situation where you know, I think their play should be quite obvious. FaZe went for the very safe play here, and they might even be able to make it work in the end. It's just going to be allu who's trying to clutch against the 2 players that are left. It's going to be a tough one. allu is quite clutch, though, as he moves forwards, turns the corner, and there's 2 players. Nice little setup there from Dignitas, making it truly very difficult there for allu in the end. But yeah, I mean, you should know that Dignitas are going to go for a play like that. They've got very low money in that situation. They've got opted for some utility. What is this most scary thing that you can think of from Dignitas? You've already seen it. It's some of these set pieces, especially on B. So you don't want to contest. Sorry, you don't want to allow Suez to go without any contestation. If you can kill a player, get rid of some nades before, or force them to use grenades before they get to the set piece, then you've won half of the battle.
FaZe money screwed. Opportunities for Dignitas to catch up. So far, so good. kioShiMa, jkaem, allu, all in separate places. The B bomb site being abandoned. But again, Dignitas have presence over there, and they appear to be gravitating towards that B bomb site. allu coming in for the flank, but again, not expecting much to be done for FaZe on this occasion. They've got Config and MagicsBoy in connector. I don't know why they need to go in connector, because their players are moving into the B bomb site. They could just stay in short B, have somebody looking through short tunnel and one covering the door, and they're gold and they're dandy. So they put themselves in a vulnerable spot there, which I think was unnecessary.
Yeah, a bit of a needless risk to take. I agree, and you can always just give away weapons. I mean, they've already got armor, so you know.
Look at the situation now. It's 1 versus 2. allu's picked up an AK, and he may choose to run away, but there's a chance he could have killed both people. And because they pushed connector, lost players inside connector, instead of having the various advantages with 2 players in short B, it leaves 1 player short B, looks the wrong way, gets shot in the head.
Yeah,
whereas
I really don't think in this round I don't think you care about killing them. They have $1,500 of value each on them, or thereabouts, and you can lose. You know, it just if you just say, you know, without the consideration of grenades, you lose a player that's going to be what, like $3,700. So it really doesn't add up at all, I think, for them. I mean, you know, look at their money situation now. They can't really afford to lose rounds in the near future, or they make it easier for FaZe to get back in. So I agree completely with you there. I think it's a bit needless, but also what I want to see from Dignitas is continued B plays. If they could just run that every single buy versus buy, then they just should, because...
Oh, look at Magic's point. He's in connector. Sorry to interrupt you, Dan. Pushing through. Something that's always dangerous. One player pushing through connector on the T side when the CTs are on an eco. Allu's picked up an AK and taken down at Magic's point in connector. kioShiMa's made his way all the way into T land. The bomb's planted, however. Oh, cajunb. Getting awkward. He's not sure if somebody made it past the angle. Don't want to lose an AWP in that situation, that's for sure.
Yeah, that really sucks if they can steal away 2 AKs. For Dignitas, that is. And more kills. Oh dear. I mean, it's another situation where like that anti-force buy round previously, it's part of the priority in the round is to make sure that your team can build money so that you have security in the future rounds. Because it's you know, all well and good trying to take money away from the other team, but you have to, sometimes it's more important your own economic security in the future rounds, because they could have so much more money than they do right now. So I mean, FaZe had done a really good job with the opportunities that they've had, making certain that they can keep all the edges alive and can make sure that they can bring themselves back into the game by almost winning just one round at this point. So yeah, FaZe has done very well there. And again, like if FaZe have that really strong CT side, which they can very often have, that's very scary. And yeah, I want to see Dignitas keep running these B plays, man. They're so successful. Force FaZe to try to adapt before you stop doing them.
I want to say it's one of the Brazilian teams who have the anti-eco where they move into connector from high and low, which is of interest. Dignitas moving towards the long area, so they've abandoned the B presence that they've had in the previous rounds, taking a completely different approach on this occasion. Double AWPs for CTs. 2 players in B. jkaem's rotating between sites at the moment towards A. You can see Rain's position. Timing smoke comes in. That can allow him to focus on the outside where they have the shadow advantage, though he definitely can't. Oh, I like the setup actually. He can play support for allu. There we go. Allu running distraction now and more. Lovely stuff from FaZe, and that has decimated Dignitas. Has taken the legs off the spider.
Yeah, the allu factor is really a scary one on towards A. And right now it's a battle of seeing if they can get some extra damage done. What opportunities can they create? There is a little bit of time left. Boom, there is the shot again from allu. He's very, very on point in this matchup, just generally speaking. Allu's so good. And I really want to see they keep going back to their B plays. Again, FaZe don't do the Suez bit very well, and that's exploitable. And again, you know, they haven't I don't think once held the B pushes. I don't think one time they've held them.
Yeah, Dignitas have had some nice frags in that area. Now they find themselves on the eco. 4 rounds from 10. The boost from FaZe looking towards short, as you can see there on the X-ray. So ill-advised for Dignitas to go in that direction. As you can see on the eco, they just go straight into connector with the numbers, looking to overwhelm anyone who would be foolish enough to go inside there. Allu putting in work once again. jkaem with these spray transfers. He's had some ridiculous spray transfers, both with the M4 and now with the AK. Considering the spread is more random than it used to be, that's cool to see. 7-4, FaZe will be content with their CT half so far. Again, this is the pick of Dignitas. Double ops continue for FaZe.
And I think there's no way Dignitas will go A right now without an AWP of their own. So probably see the B stuff again, or are they going to go towards A? Okay, let's see how this develops then. Because it's a similar round to one quite a while ago where they had only just enough to buy and have a few sets of grenades here. So it looks like they're going to apply the pressure onto that A long. There's nobody there though, very interestingly, from FaZe. Considering that they have 2 AWPers, that there is not one watching A long at the moment, which is quite cool that Dignitas have somehow found this hole. And they're going to wrap around. This is really good for the setup that FaZe is running. FaZe are going to get completely annihilated. Perfect. That's like the perfect round to run against FaZe's 2-man toilet setup.
Yeah, I do wonder if that's a reaction to if they identified. I mean, they must have identified how the setup FaZe were running and have just countered it immediately. Mastermind MSL. Don't know what the L stands for. Looks like a save from FaZe already. aizy and kioShiMa getting out of there. jkaem just looking around. But again, he can be the early warning system should Dignitas choose to go in that direction. But Dignitas can't really afford to lose too many weapons either. One person is, however, going in the direction of jkaem. Let's see if he saves. He can't save. It's none other than MSL. Config close to the bomb, but he will survive. Can be a bit tricky to... Oh, MSL really on the hunt. Didn't get it on that occasion, but there we go. Guns will be purchased once again. This looks like it may end as a tight half between these two sides.
Yeah, it seems that way. Dignitas are back on the AWP though. I wonder what the differences will be for them. I mean, honestly, you can still do the rushes with the AWP, so it's not necessarily just because they have an AWP they have to go for a more pick-based style, and it could work out pretty well if we get that peek onto Monster, which some teams really like to do. But this push from FaZe is really nice. Again, this is kind of a response as well to the previous round to some extent. The way that Dignitas approached that one, they've kind of gone with another counter setup, but it doesn't matter because Dignitas have changed their approach completely. And Suez once again has gone for free to Dignitas. And we get cajunb looking for the picks. There's it's a different approach here to the B take, and it's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful there from cajunb. Gets the entry that his team need to go in. Just checking the monster area for his teammates to get a free passage through there. But still, trade frags coming in. Allu has a jumping Tech 9 to worry about. Of course he's going to get the kill.
Why not? One player on the low ground, and that is allu with all of 3 HP. Just surviving. Rain needs to get there for his teammate. Angle's being held, he's trying to wallbang and run distraction. Rain can't save him. And now his position is known. Where's Magic's though? Spots him. Magic's holding the angle, and he will deliver. That's lovely stuff from Magic's not willing to look away from the flashbang. Rain coming in for the early peak, old school style. Not going to work out on this occasion though. Dignitas in a great spot to finish the half with a thin lead.
Yeah, it's looking quite good for them. Now they've turned it around a little bit. I think FaZe has done quite well, but I think I would have wanted them to do a bit better for them to have good chances on their T side. But maybe they've shored up their T side a little bit. We shall have to wait and see. We have just the pistols here, a couple of Deagles, basically it. We've seen what FaZe can do with a couple of Deagles, but Dignitas, they're running a solid anti-eco strategy here, just all the backs to the wall against that A-long area. It's very hard to do anything there. The trades are so strong, the ranges are so good for the Ts, and then they emerge onto the A-bomb site. The only danger is the choke point which they're going through right now. That's the only dangerous bit, really, and then you're on the bomb site. So it's such a beautiful way to play the anti-eco. You limit risk so much.
Wallbangs are real. kioShiMa and Rain combining, but what else can be done on this occasion? Dignitas shouldn't have too much trouble. They can avoid the shenanigans around the smokes. Magic's of course, getting close to the smoke. Nice kill. Can he survive, though? He is going on the hunt. They've only got pistols, and an AK has been given away, and that's why I don't play close to the smokes. RUBINO and MSL are heavily tagged as well, so if they keep pushing, then a round could... Well, the bomb's well ticked, but that could have ended up being very... Well, even more expensive. I'd say it was very expensive. That's it. It's the last round now. So who cares?
And FaZe, can they get an AWP? No, there's no AWP for FaZe, which sucks. So it's going to be... potentially, I mean, if they could go for another aggressive play here, it looks like they want to do more of the same towards A. In fact, they're committing more players here. There's 4 players towards the A bomb site here for FaZe as they start to march down A long, going for the split there aggressively. Once again, it's MSL that finds himself the victim in this scenario. However, this time around, he has Magic's boy who's able to help him out a little bit. After he's died, he gets a couple kills back. That's perfect there. FaZe had an advantage and is completely gone now.
Bomb needs to be collected. aizy moving towards short B. He smoked off. So there was a chance that he could have gone to focus on where the bomb was by coincidence, but he won't. Magic's boy had the angle anyway, but allu is in a position to flank Magic's boy. FaZe pushing through the smoke, and now things are getting mad awkward for Dignitas in this last round. Looking so good, and that it may be the killing blow. Magic's boy checking behind him. There's still a minute on the clock here for Dignitas. Do they know where kioShiMa is? Perhaps not. Smoke coming down onto the site. And now they know. Can he get himself 1 versus 1? He can, but he won't win it. 8-7 in favour of Dignitas. A late recovery in the first half. It was looking pretty grim for them.
Yeah, quite reminiscent of the first map as well. A bit slow to start. And FaZe, I have to say, they're always going to be a favoured for me on the pistol rounds. Just again, they're just so skilled, their team. And pistol rounds are decided less on strategy and tactics than on some other rounds, generally speaking. Compared with buy rounds, absolutely. So that definitely benefits FaZe massively, allows them to get much more time to get their skill in there. And this time, Dignitas are ready for that. They got 5 Kevlars, no kits required for Dignitas in this round. FaZe going for the A short push. Let's see what they get done with it. Just one player there. Magic's boy alone.
Can he pop the faces? There's one. kioShiMa jumping all over the place. Pogo stick. But his teammates are getting wrecked. Magic's boy going absolutely bananas in this round. FaZe annihilated. 4 kills for Magic's boy. Lovely stuff from him. Look at this one shot. Boom.
Yeah, this was pretty sick. 5 bullets left. I'll take you with 3. There's 1.
Meaty stuff.
That was brilliant.
Yes, it was.
Brilliant.
Marvelous.
Force buy from FaZe.
Yeah, save for, well, let's see what aizy's doing. He has left 850 in the hole, so he could have picked up some Kevlar, opted against it, which is interesting. Maybe his utility is important in future rounds. Long is, well, they're not going to commit all the way. They want the beef. Man, we've seen a lot of Deagle kills already today. And we've only had 1 match so far. 3 Deagles on the map on the T side. Looking for more frags. Speaking of which, cajunb gets taken down. Bomb plant looks very likely now. Reigns picks up an M4. So this is turning into a mess for Dignitas. They're all spread out very far away. aizy's holding an angle and connector. Config is trapped. Taking the meat shots there, and he gets taken to the butchers. Meat hooks galore. MSL, he's got 25 HP. What can Dignitas do? 2 men pushing the same way. The Tech 9 will be enough. 4 players survived that.
Yeah, they pick up 3 guns as well. 4 guns. Oh no, just 3 guns. But still, yeah, that's. I don't know, man. Just keeps happening, doesn't it? Just keeps happening. I mean, I like Dignitas's approach on their anti-force buy because they try to take stairs and the the connector area, the door area. I think that's quite smart because if the T's go for a B rush, you can catch them on the flank really quickly and you get the information really quickly and you deny control of that middle area, which basically means that they have no other options. But they made the best possible play. Just go A long. Really good. That's just beautiful stuff.
Again, we see the deep flashbang, which doesn't flash the person who's close. I think that's going to be a developing issue for teams on Overpass. Either way, Dignitas get ruined. The numbers game doing the job. Nobody lost yet for FaZe, despite jkaem being tagged. But yeah, when you are playing beyond the second rock on the CT side down long, see flashes go way past you. See some trades now, and this is getting interesting because jkaem's got 6 HP. And CZs are highly dangerous.
Oh, they go for the gamble as well. Are they rotating all the way to be both of them? It looks like they are. This is really cool, actually. And will their play work out? It looks like it might here because FaZe are going to B. So Dignitas, they put themselves in the minds of their opponent and they felt, okay, what do we think is the most likely thing our opponents would do right now? Go B. And oh, MSL catches jkaem right in the air. Now, will they rotate or do they think there's just 1 player there? Because it's probably more likely that they think there's just 1 there, but Config comes in. Oh, Reigns able to get MSL as well. 4 HP, 1 bullet would have done it. And that's a lot of damage there from Dignitas. Almost winning the round as well. That would have been really, really nice for them. But unfortunately, they will be on another save round. This time, they can't invest nearly as much. And they won't. They'll just get 2 PT50s and that's it.
So close for Dig. So close. Good damage done. Maybe the damage will pay off in a future round, but I'm sure they would have wanted the round. That would have put them in a nice spot, but they'll be in a poor spot instead. 2 P250s and stock pistols for the players. see if they can get anything done. cajunb playing the off angles, which should be checked when players move on the outside at the very least. Allu taking some risks here, but not the worst thing in the world if he goes down, depending on what his team do. In fact, he may have been selected as the sacrificial lamb with the rest of the team moving in towards B. So it's all good in the hood. Magic's boy has potential to make some extra money if he picks the right angle. Now he's picked up the Mac 10. Rain spamming the balcony smoke over towards B. Magic's boy just seeing what he can do. 3 kills for jkaem, that's money. That's dollars in the bank.
So when the AWPs come out, that's when the game's going to get really interesting with all the AWP skills on the server, especially now with having allu and stuff. I wonder if that changes how FaZe play T-side overpass, generally speaking, because allu might bring a lot to the table in that respect, in how he likes to play or how he wants to play, and because they don't have anything super solid around, generally, I don't think, on the T side, they may give him a lot of freedom. And he's going to pick up the AWP, cajunb as well picking up the AWP. So will this be an affair for FaZe where they just go pure picks, which is what I would expect, or will they do something that's more interesting as far as map control goes? Let's see how it works out. We've got Magic's boy there in the party area amongst the helium, moving forwards now, trying to see what he can find. Very common position for aggression these days, thanks to Fallen.
What is going on here? Ooh, and they find in the information as well. But what can they do with it? They know where he is. Does Magic's boy realize that he was spotted, or is he just backing off based on timing? We may never know. 2-man push coming in from Dignitas towards the tunnel, and that is not going great for them. I mean, have a look at how CLG do that. I put up a video recently. They have an execute with a smoke on top of the stairs to take the T side of Monster. And now in a somewhat desperate situation, just falling apart one by one for Dignitas. They chose aggression. Unfortunately, it wasn't the right place at the right time for them. But again, there are, at least towards B, there are ways to make it safer, but also more obvious. I think, I mean, we saw a different B push from FaZe as well. Nicely timed, synchronized pushes through Monster and short B tunnel. But yeah, if you go for a push and people happen to be there, sometimes it's not going to go your way. That's the problem with some executes. If you go for them at the wrong time, it looks terrible. If you go for it at the right time, it looks amazing. Reminds me of when Simple used to constantly walk through smokes on the CT side of Monster and wreck people. There's like a week, he did it for a week. And almost every time he was successful, it was hilarious.
Yeah, he's just, he's a bit of a prodigy, really. I don't think if you asked him about, to explain or quantify any of the stuff that he does, that he would be able to give you any explanation.
He would say full FPL mode, Dan, that's what he would say. Yeah,
like it's funny. I've known so many players who are sort of their brain they just know how to play the game, and they're just very game smart, but they don't know how to articulate it because it just is for them. They never had to think about it consciously, so which is part of the reason why they're so good. It's but the burden of talent, I think there is a burden there, but either way, it's a different discussion. We'll see.
I couldn't confirm that there is a burden there.
We'll see whether anything goes here for Dig. They've got a couple kills on the board, but not much more than that. Allu's just there. He's like a brick wall, and they're just bashing their heads into the brick wall, and the brick wall wins again. So this is getting kind of scary for Dignitas, actually, because they're not having quite the... again, I feel like they didn't have enough rounds on the first half, but already FaZe are looking quite kind of comfortable. This is
dangerous for FaZe, though, because they're all separate. They have no idea where config is. And I think they're keeping somebody in B. I mean, this is not worst case scenario, as long as there's a 2-man escort of the bomb towards the B bomb site.
I don't know why they're not going together here.
Yeah, I mean, this is... I mean, they might be scared that the CT's going to pick up the weapons. They may have just disposed of them. I wasn't paying attention, but... Yeah, you need a taxi for the bomb to the site. If you won't go as a 3, then go as a 2 at least, and taxi the bomb there.
It's like protect the VIP.
Yeah.
It's like oil rig all over again. I don't know if there was any. I don't know what else was my favorite maps for Protect the IP. I'm not sure. Oil rig, or I think oil rig was the most popular.
I can't really remember them. It was so long ago. Was there one with a plane? I don't know if it was. Wait, no. 747 was CS 747, right? It
That was
wasn't
hostage. That was hostage.
Yeah,
map.
yeah. But I'm sure there was another one with a plane in, and you ran along the side of the plane or something. But actually,
Well,
I was
you ran
looking
into a
at
helicopter and an oil rig. But
I was looking at the new Inferno on the beta client, and the aizy reminded me of CPL Fire because of the boxes.
some of the colors remind me of the 1.6 Inferno because it's just like a lot much lighter or much brighter in that kind of those yellowy tones, which reminded me of the 1.6 ones, if I'm not mistaken. It's been a long time since I saw the 1.6 Inferno, but yeah.
My memory is too poverty to remember a lot of things, unfortunately.
Well, we got a change in approach now. We got two orbs. They're going to double down on the pick battles. Oh, it's scary. And they're just going to run in James. They don't give a damn.
I have a smoke in my hand and I'm dead. A song by James Bardolph in one part. Trades on the B site, but that's way in favor of FaZe. Dignitas on the buy. Dignitas on the barbecue grill. Now, smoke has failed for Rain, which may cause distraction. Dig have no money if they lose this round. They've got one player of 3,400. So if they can keep these two guns, maybe they can get some kind of weird buy going. But cajunb may be running to his doom, and indeed he is.
It's kind of funny that FaZe sort of ran the like one of the best possible plays, I think, in this round, because Dignitas finally pick up. Well, they invest heavily into double orbs, which are really good on slower rounds. They're really good on slow rounds, which are more pick based, which is more often what FaZe is going to be doing. But they just run in, so they basically negate the fact that you have the orbs and you want to have time to position them. You want to have time to get shots off with them. And in that case, you get maximum maybe one shot before they're in your face. So, good job by FaZe. And now Dignitas are in a very sorry state.
Yeah, they're going to force it anyway. Otherwise, it's round 14 for FaZe before Dignitas can get another full buy. So quite a reasonable buy, though. cajunb with AWP and armor. Might be a bonus at this point. Angles are being held. 3 players around the playground area for the T side. MagicBoy taking risks here, which maybe Dignitas need to take risks, all things considered. Are we going to see the jump again? Surely MagicBoy should see it. I don't even... The interesting thing is... Oh, there we go.
He actually hit him, I think, in the face as well.
Yeah, I mean, the problem with that is if they're in a position to see it, they can shoot you, the CT side, before you finish your jump. So that there are risks, but obviously it's probably to advantage of FaZe for the most part, unless you're expecting it. 2 kills for MagicBoy, exactly what Dignitas needed.
Yeah, it's a cool trick, but maybe if you run it too many times, that is going to happen for sure. And kioShiMa's got to make the big play. He's got a teammate with him. Now he's dead. He's just on kioShiMa, but he opens up nicely. aizy goes for the split, but kioShiMa has to go back for the bomb, but he wants to be there so he can help to trade for aizy, but he just can't get into position in time. He has to kill 3 people all by himself for the ace. Now kioShiMa's in a lot of trouble, and finally Dignitas come back into it. FaZe have seemingly had their number for quite a while, and their money is outrageous. So 13-10 is the reality, and if FaZe were to take this round away, Dignitas have no money. So yeah, this is kind of an important one for Dignitas. Do they go for continued aggression here towards the party area? Looks like they'll have cajunb there again, just for the early stages, and MagicBoy runs into connector by himself, and he will get taken down. He'll lose his one-on-one.
Early disadvantage for Dignitas. kioShiMa one-man lurk outside B. aizy still enjoying the spoils in connector. Allu, Joakim and Rain moving around. cajunb is charging up long, and he's soon to meet Rain, but Rain doesn't seem to hear him, and he's going to get taken down for free. Lining up some smokes, and that also may give away FaZe's current plans and general positioning. Will that cause aggression over towards B from Dignitas? FaZe continuing with their plan, it seems. 3 people in long, and kioShiMa's not too far behind either.
Yeah, they have Allu to fall back on, who likely will be trying to make frags happen from the toilets area. If the timing works out correctly, allu will get a really nice engagement as cajunb falls back out of the position, but allu's not in position to actually punish that, which is a big shame actually. Allu is kind of far away. Now he comes in to the angle and actually finds MSL, and cajunb misses the shot now. He's under so much pressure. The flashes come in, forces him back further, but still he's alive. Still he's able to do damage here potentially as he continues to breathe. But for how much longer? The rest of the Dignitas have made their way onto the scene though, and very even exchanges here, but jkaem just barely able to get the better of RUBINO there. And surely it all falls apart here for Dignitas. This is going to be so difficult. Oh, that is just glorious.
In the face.
Very nice.
What can config do? This is such a horrible map to be in such a situation, as are some others as well. 14 to 10, they went for the force bite, has failed. Dignitas are in a lot of trouble. They have no money. They may have to choose to play for overtime, because really, what can they muster with this kind of cash? Magic's Boy buying down to $1,500. No armor, only config has Kevlar. That is a mess of a situation for the CT side. Moving into connector, always smart in this situation. aizy holding off angle for the time being. Again, if you have a player moving towards short B, it's very important to have someone covering the door. This is the tease I'm talking about. So he doesn't get snapped from short B and from the door at the same time. Got to cover your teammates back. aizy just harassing, causing problems, running distraction.
I'm really afraid if he pushes all the way, and I imagine he will from that position. It is pretty scary. There are CTs who are close with pistols, as there would be. It's like one of the best places for pistols on the map in a round like this. Ooh, another person comes knocking. aizy puts up the do not disturb sign, but they keep coming.
Not many of them to knock on that door now. MSL's got an AK, but wouldn't be surprised if he died in this situation. The bomb hasn't been planted yet, and they'll want to take it out of his hands. They have the money to do so as well. aizy's got $13,500 in the bank, so not much for FaZe to worry about at present. Indeed, allu and Rain are still close to MSL around the toilet position. Rain is looking for MSL, while allu holds an angle on to connector. So we'll see if he can survive. But his team may not survive much longer. FaZe moving to match point shortly. Desperately trying to hold on.
Ooh.
Yeah, at this point it's better for him to hide than to try and kill one person. allu, just too quick.
Nicely done by allu.
Always important when you're an AWPer moving around, even running around, to just have your... You still need your crosshair placement to be correct, so you can get fast kills like that when you're caught by surprise. So this is their last buy, potentially. WMP, Mag 7, utility here and there, few defuse kits. Does this mean aggression from the CT side? MSL moving towards short B, so perhaps it does.
Yeah, the Suez take is really important, and especially having the Mag 7. Magic's Boy is dead though, so connector might well be taken over by FaZe in the near future. Need some big plays here. cajunb can hear them just stepping around him. He's going to call that information to his teammates. A couple are stepping nearby. Bomb dropped as well, something he can also hear. And do we get rotation? Config at this range is not too good for the Mag 7. Gets shot straight in the back of the head, and it's going to be generally a very tough situation at this point. cajunb is going to have to go absolutely insane with that UMP to make this work.
This is dire for the CT side. This is very dire. And they're all moving towards B are the T's. RUBINO's there alone with a UMP. An honest man. A decent man, Dan. In an indecent time. He's gone. It's MSL and cajunb versus 5 players. Make it just cajunb. And it's all over. FaZe have taken both their own pick and the pick of their opponent. They will have a good start to ECS Season 2. Dignitas, I feel like they had more opportunities on Mirage than they did on Overpass.
Yeah, they could not quite get the T side going, and that was problematic. I think there was a lot of spots. I mean, when they again, I really feel strongly, especially around this level, that if you're going to a bomb site and it's working, there is no reason to not keep. There's no reason to stop doing that until the other team is forced to try and fix whatever they is wrong for them to not be able to hold it to the point in which they can hold it. Because some teams, that actually breaks them mentally, because it gets to a point where they try something and they do adjust, but it still doesn't work. And maybe it's just because their execution on some of the shots is a little bit off or something. But then maybe that's the round that breaks their economy, or maybe that's going to be written off as, oh, this doesn't work now, so we have to try something else, and then they get in their head and you can just lose them. I've seen that kind of dynamic, just lose teams games just because they're forced to adjust to something and then they just can't quite manage to do it. But Dignitas, they came away from what was working. I think it worked every time. Like I think it was like 3 out of 3 or 4 out of 4 times the B plays, and they just started going towards A, and then they got crushed by allu. So that for me was the saddest part about this one for Dignitas. But otherwise, FaZe look improved, and you can see allu adds some stability actually, because he's, as you were alluding to, he's just so much more stable and can so much more versatile.
Yeah, they had. I liked the setup that they had with allu and Rain, where allu was holding at the angle and was essentially the bait, although he killed the first 2 players, and then Rain pops up to clean out the third player. But also, I like that Dignitas instantly challenged them the next round they had a bye. Expected that and broke them immediately, because that gives warning to FaZe. I mean, they won the match, but it gives warning to them in the future as well, that if they're going to have setups like that, then they need to be able to vary them to keep their opponent surprised. So it's within a vacuum, it's a blip in the road between a few rounds, but it's a good blip, because then it teaches them you can't just run the same strat every single round.
Yeah.
Well, a great performance by FaZe today, and probably, again, something that Dignitas were notorious for in the past was underachieving. And I feel like they will feel like they underachieved today, at least on Mirage, where they had very good opportunities to take it over the line, but then they lost a number of buys in a row. So anyway, good for FaZe in the European stage. We've got North America coming up in just over an hour, but as we head to the break, we're going to have episode 2 of our map-making tutorial. See you back here later.